on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I am
you.
Shekhar Gupta and I am off camera, which is just what you'd expect me to do when I'm introducing a guest like Aishwarya Rai this week, who is one of the most beautiful faces you've ever seen. Aishwarya Rai, how great to have you on Walk the Talk.
Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure.
And not only I suppose I should get my face off camera, I should also shut up now, because what our viewers want to do is listen to you and not to a furry daddy like me.
Yeah, right. We'll discover shortly along the walk. Tell me.
So tell me, it's hard work being Aishwarya Rai. I thought, with so much going for you, you will have the world at your feet. But I don't remember the last time I drove from the airport at 3 in the morning to meet a star at work. It's hard work.
Well, yeah, we do have all kinds of strange hours of work, but then so do you. I mean, imagine you take the night out flight and you come here, and it was just incredible on your part to actually come.
No, but
meet me at that hour.
But my incentive is greater than yours. I've come to meet Aishwarya Rai.
Come on, now you're just being like really...
Like what?
You're being sweet. I get really awkward with all this kind of conversation because, I don't know, sometimes if you're saying it just because, let's say it goes to the world of make-believe, or, or you're tickling yourself, you're humoring yourself.
Nobody who says it to you says it like that.
I can't be quite sure.
That you should have got used to.
I can't be too sure.
That you should have got used to. You're not short of compliments. But what's it like being Aishwarya Rai? I mean, how hard is it? In terms of expectations from you, in terms of timings, in terms of performances, in terms of giving value for money to the...
I'm just busy being myself. I'm a professional to the sincerest best that I can be, and I choose to be. And that's about it. I mean, this whole thing of how tough is it being Aishwarya, I think it would come into, it would be effective if you're trying to create this, if you are trying to create this persona and you are being a person out of yourself, apart from who you really are, then it kind of would be an effort. But I think if you're just yourself, it's just...
No, but persona has been created. I mean, you are a star. You're not just a star. A lot rides on you. Producers' fortunes ride on you. Somebody's...
You're the star of the show. What's the talk, Shekhar Gupta? How tough is it? You tell me.
Not that bad. And I don't get rewarded like that as well.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you talk about make-believe. We are walking through a street of make-believe, a slice of carnival in Goa created on the southern tip of Colaba, right?
Right.
And here you will do a 40-second, 50-second commercial.
Advert, yeah.
And you will say, buy this soap, right? Or buy this shampoo, or whatever, buy this perfume. And crores of people would buy it, right? So
that's the attempt by the agency that, with advertising, it seems appealing, and that's the way this world works.
So does that bring pressure? Does it bring stress that, so much is riding on me, I have to deliver?
I have to deliver my job as a professional, as in the person who's employed me to deliver the job that I'm supposed to do, and that's to the best of my ability, the way you would need to do as in the various fields that today you're involved with, as the editor of your newspaper, as the chief anchor of the show, and the multi-faceted life that you lead. I mean, the pressures are the same as for any professional. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
I mean, I feel pressured.
But the stresses are normal.
But I can't get so much right or wrong in 40 seconds as you.
I think like that, these are the peripherals that kind of go with this world of make-believe, is I think all these ideas that people have about us or our world, we're just working professionals just like you.
What is tougher, the world of modeling and beauty contests or cinema?
It's not the question of tougher, but I'd say films is definitely the ocean, and there's no end to discovering the various aspects of it. Cinema is just very, very fascinating. Modeling is fun, is exciting, and for me, within the short duration of time that I did that, I had my fill. I'd done plenty of it, and that's about it. So I'd say the world of film is
let me phrase it
even the
differently.
beauty title holder. It's a good thing that they give you a year for that, because a year is wonderful. I had a very, very fulfilling, very, very complete experience. For me, it was about being a representative of India. That's what I was really interested in giving to the title while I had won it. And that's the way I treated it, and that's the experience I came away with. And 1 year was good for it.
Did you talk about Mother Teresa in your
sometimes I'll have to jog my memory. I'll have to jog my memory because it's such a cliche. And, there are these things so so attached to you that sometimes I wonder, yes, I think invariably when people asked a woman that you admire, I mean, whether that sounds like a cliche or of course it's well earned. I mean, invariably you would mention her name as a woman that one admired. And
So who are the women you admire now? There's no crown at stake now.
there was no crown. It was not for the crown even
I'm
back
asking
then.
you,
That's the sad part. I mean, sometimes we think, I mean, Mother Teresa has deservedly been accorded what she has, but then there is the entire cliche, the joke that goes with because, and today you never know. I mean, some people might actually be embarrassed to give her due just because of the tongue-in-cheek jargon that goes with it.
Mother Teresa would survive that. but tell me, when you look around now, who are the female role models you look at?
There are just so many. I think everybody was an achiever. Everybody who's carved a niche and worked hard to achieve it.
So name a couple.
Just so many.
Name a couple of interesting stories
sports,
that you've seen
be it in regular
whether
life. I mean, okay, let's not name drop. I would speak about my maid. I mean, if you without dropping names, because the names are there in every magazine covers, newspapers, you have them all. I talk about my maid, and I really, really admire her for the sincerity with which she executes a job. And she has a hemophilic son. And just the positive energy that her positive approach to life is remarkable and truly, truly worthy of appreciation. She's got 4 kids, and her youngest boy is hemophilic. And I see her trials every day. And she has to go through the operation. She has to give him, the serum regularly. We're helping her, a lot of us. But it's just. And she's still such a positive spirit. Her boy, he's adorable.
Walk the
The transition you made from the world of modeling and glamour to cinema, both are very different traits, and not many people have done so successfully. What is it that you learned in the world of modeling that made it easier for you to make the transition? And what is it that made it tough? What was tough?
My approach, while the questions are profound and I can really wax eloquent and get into these really profound answers, let's just get down to basics and absolute honesty, because I regard this the approach of your show, and that's why I'm enjoying this conversation with you. My approach has always been very, very schoolish. It's just very basic, very student-like. So when you're given an assignment or when you've taken a decision to take a job on or take an assignment on, then it's a very, very schoolish approach to give your best to what's on hand, as opposed to the perception the world has and the way the world sits and judges it as this huge transition step and this. You put through the microscope, you're being judged, you're being gauged all along, but that's not the way I looked at it. So constantly really remaining in touch with why you're here and why you're doing it. I think that's
also
important.
Emoting, it's also talking. Modeling is looking great. Modeling is also bringing in a certain spirit. That's why many models have not really made it big in cinema.
You can't judge what and why, as to why things have happened or why they haven't. There have been lots of models also who've done well in cinema. So it's not a question of, there is no formula to it. I mean, even in terms of cinema, when I came in, there was this whole thing of, I didn't go through any formal training, and I don't think that in turn today can be a statement that you don't need training. You either have it or you don't. No, I won't even make these quotable quotes.
Which are your favorite performances in cinema?
It's tough for me to pick out any favorite performances, because just you treasure every one of them.
Which are the ones you enjoy doing the most? Which are the ones that are the most talented?
Everyone has a reason and everyone has a memory attached, because this is our life. So, I mean, you really have, for me also my first viewing, it's kind of, you just have all the memories attached to that particular filming or shooting. Iruvar is very, very special. That was my first film with Mani Ratnam. It was an experience I was really looking forward to. And it was new in every sense, because it was the new world of cinema. It was a new language. It was working with a master. It was just, everything was so new about that experience for me that, and Mani had said even then, he said, what this is, you'll never have an experience like this again. And that's true, just because it was just incredible discovering everything about film, about cinema, about being an actor, and about the changes that you go through within yourself as well. So Iruvar will always be very, very special. There are so many films. All the 3 Tamil films. Jeans next, because that was again very, very it was a new technically a new film for me to work on.
See, many of us may not have seen films from the south.
The south. In Hindi, I'd say, okay, Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam instantly, because everybody talks about it, and it was definitely a very, very wonderful character, Nandini, that I said there. Tal was special, Josh was special, Devdas was special.
Very special.
very, very special. Raincoat recently, Choker Bali.
But do you remember any moments, maybe doing Devdas that you cherish or that you remember?
So many. I mean, both experiences with Sanjay have been very, very full-bodied experiences, as you'd say, because it's just so much that we go to. We're very probably, I don't know if I can dare to say similar personalities, but our approach to our work is quite similar. Maverick, obsessive. We really, really love to work on detail.
Maverick how?
We love to work on detail, and it's just kind of, films like these just completely consume you during the making of that particular film.
Tell me a couple of the memories you cherish from the making of those films.
Which one, Hum Dil or Devdas?
You choose. Devdas.
This is so okay, Devdas. Well, I'm of course aware. I was of course aware of the fact that Devdas had been made so many times before, but I hadn't seen any of the versions whatsoever. And then I maintained that. I must have been the only person on the entire team making that film
who had never seen the
earlier Devdases. And I maintained that because I said, okay, if I haven't, then I really have no reference point, which is wonderful because I wanted to be completely malleable and just do Paro as the way Sanjay has conceived her. And so I maintained that. And I said, Sanjay, I'll remain an original. I'll just remain like, your Paro, the way you've conceived her, as true to the script, the way you've written it. Because this was really his interpretation of the movie or the novel. And so when we went on the set, like 2 days before, I like to go and feel the space, feel the set. Because that's where we worked on Hum Dil as well. 2 days before when we went, and I saw the sets, and I was like, oh my God, these were magnificent. It was like huge. And at one point I was like, Sanjay, you barely feel the space, I mean, this is going to be like really operatic, and it's going to be really, the whole scale is much bigger than what I had probably visualized when he was narrating the script to me. And he was just like, no, but this is the way I'm going to be making it, and this is my Devdas. So we walked around, and then suddenly actually I just started feeling the actual interpretation of Sanjay's vision. And we just went about the house, felt the space. 2 days before, we have reworked the entire wardrobe of Paro. Somehow we just saw the wardrobe and didn't feel it. We are very feel kind of people, both Sanjay and me. Didn't feel it. So we said, okay, this is it. This doesn't feel like Paro. It felt a little synthetic. So out, reworked it literally like the night before. So pressure. I think Sanjay thrives on pressure. Like that's what he says on hindsight. Every time he says, every time we're faced with hardships and pressure is when we went forth and really delivered our best. And I think that's what happened throughout that experience of Devdas. There were lots of trials and tribulations and lots of difficult circumstances, and we just stuck together and enjoyed every minute of the making of that film. It's a comfort zone.
You are known to drive a hard bargain.
I'm a professional, and that's it. If I'm working as a professional in an industry, then it's good to be regarded as one, right?
Do you ever feel the glass ceiling when you're negotiating?
Maybe my approach is devoid of gender.
Part 2 of a special Walk the Talk.
The rumor kind of could get the award for the longest lasting rumor whatsoever.
Saturday night at 7:30 on NDTV 24/7.
You seem to be charmed by the East. Devdas, and now you've been working with Rituparno Ghosh. You're a girl from the West.
Says who?
Mangalore.
Oh, in that sense.
Charmed with East as in Calcutta.
Well,
Kolkata.
It's just really, well, if you can say then in the beginning, you can say I was fascinated with the South being a South Indian in its origin. It's not that.
You've done very good work now in the East. I mean, Devdas being a film sort of based in the East, but these two films with Rituparno Ghosh, aren't they your signature in some ways?
They've been
as an artist?
Well, I'd hope with every experience you'd you'd say that you see a growth because that's what I'm aspiring to do as an actor. I mean, as a person first also, for me, for my own sake, apart from what the records or what opinions you guys would hold, I myself would want to grow with every experience. Probably that's why, evidently, also if you see, I've never had more than 2 releases a year. Sometimes it's 3. But kind of people are noticing and observing that a lot more and saying, what's with your slow...
You can afford it.
I've always chosen to do that. Actually, if you look back, that's always been the way I've chosen to work. I'm still working 24/7 or 48/10, if there be a term like that. I don't get days off.
Except 10:30 when you giggle.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm going to be stuck with this, aren't I? But nevertheless, that apart. So these two, I mean, when Ritu approached me after Devdas with Chokir Bali, I was happy with the challenge of actually working again on a new experience because Devdas was extremely satisfying as an artist.
What was different working with Rituparna Ghosh compared to the work you've done with Bombay directors? How is it different?
You know, I can understand where this is coming from because this is the way media does question me, but I look at it as not necessarily regionalizing it. It's just literally from, let me tell you.
It's a different personality.
But from director to director, personalities differ even within your supposed Hindi industry or within a Tamil industry.
Sure.
Your personalities individually differ and thereby the working ambience differs.
What is distinctive or different with Rituparna Ghosh? What makes him special in his own?
What I really like about having worked with him, and this is not drawing a comparison with anybody else, but having worked with him, okay, Chokir Bali was, he pushed beyond, say, his earlier films, and I just love the way he dealt with the complex relationships in that movie. And yet, you know, during the working of it, and after a huge experience like Devdas, I worked on my first Bengali film in Kolkata, within the studios, and the scale in person when we were working looked so much smaller. We worked on an incredibly fast pace. Ritu works really fast because he's very clear about what he wants. So in his short breakdowns, there won't be, he says they can't afford it because that's the way they budget, which is also extremely interesting.
Did you ever ask him why did he choose you, complete non-Bengali?
I think he was asked by everybody else as well. Everybody. Why Aishwarya?
So
how does she fit? Did you go for her stardom or did you go
What did he tell you? That's what matters.
He was convinced I'd be Binodini, and he came and narrated the subject to me, and he said, I see Binodini here. So that was very good.
So do we see you doing more of those films now?
I see myself inclined towards cinema as an actor that offers me growth. I mean, really, that's what I've been looking for. But having said that, I must confess that at every point I've probably taken on something which would have me push myself a little more. I do mix it up with probably 1 or 2 easier experiences, which you all might dub as the conventional commercial film. But for me, as a person, I need that as well because I cannot go from one intense experience to the next. It's very, very drawing. It really takes a lot off me. And thereby, like when you're doing the Bengali film, for me it was like going back to school. So every night, because I'm not very good with you know, I can't cheat with cutters having dialogue, or I try and take prompting, but I don't know the art of it. So it's like homework every night and every morning. You're learning lines in between your shots. You don't get it.
Let me ask you a trick question.
Break.
When is being Aishwarya Rai a privilege? And when is it being Aishwarya Rai a liability?
You know, I've always said this to the media. I said, you know, I sit on these interviews, it's like, we should be walking. I should be on a couch and you guys are the shrinks. You get us like really introspecting.
We never
big
get it
time.
right, don't worry. Huh? But introspect, huh?
Look, I'm just busy being, and I have to, let me say, I don't know about whether it's a pro or a con or an advantage or a disability, but you have to remain your best friend.
I know it's a liability, you know, if most parts of India go out to have an ice cream, you get mobbed. That's a liability, right? But how well?
But I steal my moments, let me put it this way. I have always done that all through my time here, right since Miss World, having joined films. When I'd travel to other places, say when we went to Ooty, or when you're shooting in Calcutta or Kolkata, or when you're shooting in, say, Delhi or somewhere in the south, I like to take take a general drive, and once in a while I'll just step out and grab a bite, say at a dhaba, and whenever we can, as a team, I kind of grab at these moments. And I must say there have been some moments possible. Sometimes, yes,
The
it does
moment
get
when somebody
difficult.
comes and asks you, hey, Aishwarya Rai, and you say, no, I'm not Aishwarya Rai. Does that
You've
happen?
heard this cliche, haven't you? Well, I have kind of sometimes done that, not so much here, yeah, maybe once or twice here, sometimes overseas, and it's, you kind of just try and pull that through for a while, but more than anything else, I mean, I have noticed it about people कि normally ज़्यादा ये शोर शराबा रहता है when it's around a premiere or around an event.
And then
That's
it
when there's a
pulls
lot more excitement. But I think in normalcy, if you tell people that you want your time, you're as normal as anybody else, 7 out of 10 times it works. I won't say 10 out of 10, but sometimes it does work.
Now tell me, your beauty. Do you ever find you see a role and you say, oh God, I can't do this role because I look so beautiful. I won't fit this role because of my looks. So do good looks become a liability sometimes artistically? This is not a introspective question. This is a straightforward professional question.
I gauge my director's conviction first of all in approaching me.
No, but have you seen movies where you see a character and,
films like
then
that.
you said, one, where you said, this is a character I would have liked to do, or oh, this is a character I could not have done.
You are acting, and if it needs work on the appearance today, there's, I mean, the prime example is Monster. I mean, look at Monster done by Charlize Theron. I mean, she looks as glamorous as she does in her other events or movies or whatsoever, I mean, in person. And look what she's done with playing the character of Eileen Warris. I mean, it's just absolutely brilliant. And that's, again, the director's view. I mean, it's really his vision, his or her vision, as to how much you want to push with the visual. Because as an actor, you are enacting, you're emoting and giving to your character what you'd like to do. Now, it's up to the director to decide whether he or she wants to go with this face to, you know, with the changes that you'd like to give to with general makeup, hair, and, you know, the slight changes, or how much more they want to push to achieve the visual difference to essay a particular character.